Hey there, YouTubers. All right, so in this video, we're going to take a look at some alternatives to going out and buying one of those really overpriced graphics cards. Now, you know, on this channel, we have a lot of graphics cards. I have paid a lot of money for them. Um, Quite a few, obviously, I got before the pandemic. Quite a few I got during the pandemic, and only a few of those did I actually pay near the MSRP, right? So we got the original EVGA RTX 3070. I paid somewhere, I think it was close to 500. I got a EVGA RTX 3060, which I paid just at $400 for. Everything else, though, has been double that, right? So the 3090 we got is somewhere around 2,600 bucks. The 3080 Ti was 1,800. Just, you know, way over what the MSRP is. You know, so obviously mining has a lot to do with that. The tariffs, supply shortage for chips, scalpers, whatever, right? This stuff's not going away. You know, there's videos all over YouTube, people acting like, oh, it's going away. Well, you know, in some aspects, if you've got money, the supply is out there, right? You know, the demand's not going away. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to pay for it. So let's look at some of the videos that yours truly has put out. Try not to do all Fortnite in here, but just so you can kind of see some of the alternatives and some of the ones that we don't actually have, like the AMD alternatives for CPUs, APUs. We'll take a look at a couple of those. But you know, here's Rocket League, and this is 1080p high. This was an i5 11400, 32 gigs of RAM, which, you know, is a lot more than most people would put in a computer that only has a CPU and doesn't have a graphics card. But you know, it was playable. Is it ideal, right? If you're playing on a 144 hertz monitor, no, kind of that aspect kind of sucks. But a lot of people that only have a 60 hertz monitor, you know, was this playable? Yeah. Um, am I any good at this game? No. So we're not going to watch too much of it. But you know, this is one of the alternatives, just going with a CPU that has integrated graphics. Now, anything less than, honestly, 11th gen on the Intel side is just going to be a waste of time. Graphics are terrible. All right, let's look at another example. Now, this is a step up. This is the UHD 750 graphics, i5 11600K. Once again, 32 gigs of RAM. This is performance mode low in Fortnite, 1080p. And you see, as of right now, the FPS average is up there about 83. And this, you know, this was honestly pretty playable. Now, I don't know where I ended up at. Played for 14 minutes. We've got 3 kills, 6 people left, so I'm gonna finish at least in the top 6 here. Oh, this guy's about to. Oh, this is team play. Looks like so. You know, this was definitely doable. Now, something I don't have on here, and who knows when I'll actually have it, is 12th gen Intel, which is UHD 770. That potentially is going to be, you know, even better than this, right? So, of course, the better your CPU is, if this was the i9 11900K in this example, we would get even better results. And obviously, 12th gen 12900K, i9 12900K would outdo this, I'm sure. All right, another example. So on the low end, GT 1030s I think are still available for 100 bucks. This is 1080p low. Should be DX12. And this is harder to run than performance mode low. I don't know if I have, maybe the next example is performance mode low. This was with i7 10700. You see we are averaging about 67 FPS. Of course, the screen shows less than that, but you know, I don't have a single kill here yet. There are only 4 bad guys left. So I was obviously out for a stroll, taking it easy. Probably end up getting killed before I even get, maybe I'll get this guy. This guy's just sitting here. If I had a good gun, it should have been bullseye. There we go. I think we're gonna get a kill here, folks. Rather that guy, this guy's gonna get me in a boom. There you go. So we at least get 1 kill. We're gonna finish at least in 3rd place. Not, you know, very impressive gaming wise here, but let's go to 1080p performance with the GT 1030. Now that CPU was the i7 10700. This is the i5 11600K. Probably pretty similar. This has 32 gigs of RAM. So I will tell you, any of these, if you're going to go UHD 730, 750, GT 1030, don't just get 8 gigs of RAM. Make sure you got at least 16 gigs. So what do we have for FPS here? This is showing 64 on performance mode low. Usually it's better. Now that does change with the different seasons, and obviously I do have 32 gigs of RAM in here. So this guy is oh, we got a kill there. This guy is, you know, doing all right. Once again, you know, if you had a 144 hertz monitor, this is gonna suck to play on, right? But still playable. And as you'll see, you know, somewhere in here I get some first places on some of these games. I think that one only finished 22nd, but now stepping up from that, so GT 1030, you know, coming in around $100 or whatever, 100, 150, depending on if you buy it new, used. If you can get a hold of a GTX 1050 or 1050 Ti, now you're at least starting to get into some gaming, right? So paired this with the Ryzen 9 3900X, which isn't honestly that great for Fortnite. CPU is pretty powerful multi-core wise, but I never found that it performed that great in Fortnite compared to Intel. You see here we have we're actually running 16 gigs of RAM at 4133 megahertz. And this is, you know, this is playable. You could actually get away with probably a 75 hertz monitor in this case and enjoy it somewhat, you know. 1050 Ti should give you at least a, you know, 10% performance boost from here if you can afford one of those. I'm surprised I have had 2 GTX 1050 Ti's over the year. I have one currently, and yet I don't have a single gaming video from it. So we're going to have to change that up. And, you know, in this case, like I said, had I have honestly paired this with a good old Intel 10700, the i9 10900F, we would have seen higher FPS here on the screen. Next example, another GTX 1050. This is 1080p low Call of Duty Black Ops, i9 9900KF. You see the FPS there. Was it, you know, it was playable. Was it that great? No. This is just on the verge of, you know, being okay in my opinion. If it's not at least 60 FPS, it's going to be kind of painful. There's going to be a lot of issues. But yeah, so that's that example, folks. GTX 1050. Now, other options, obviously, that you might not have thought of. Go back and look at eBay, and we'll do that in a second. Grab yourself something like a GTX 970, which would definitely outdo the 1050. A GTX 960, which is comparative to the 1050. Even a GTX 950, which would be better than the GT 1030. So why do I bring these guys up? Well, obviously they're older, they're available, they're cheaper. Honest gosh truth is, anything that is on, this is nice hash. You guys, most of you hate people that do crypto mining. I do it on the side, because honestly, can't use all these computers to game on at one time. So why not put them to work and make some money? But you can see any one of these that's on here that's making decent money. These are the reason, that you can't get these graphics cards. And soon, Christmas is coming up, right? That's just another reason you're not going to be able to get these graphics cards. But you can just see, like this Radeon, you used to be able to get this thing for less than 500 bucks. They're like $2,000 now, which is ridiculous. Obviously the 3090, which is, pretty much the king on here. That thing's making some money, but going for, 2,600 and up, if not more. GPUs you can get, the LHRs, right? This thing's still making some good money. Hence why the price is still way up there. These are coming in at least at $1,349. The 3060 Ti, which should be on here somewhere, I can see it. But let's just go with this 3070 Ti. You can get these. I picked up one for a little over 900 bucks. Gaming, and obviously, if it actually would achieve this, pretty good for that aspect. So let's go to the bottom of this, folks, because this isn't really talking about crypto mining. This is what's at the bottom. This card here makes no money, right? So you should be able to pick it up on eBay used. RX 550, 4 gig. The 460, and there should be a 560 on here, but doesn't show up for some reason. But these barely make any money, right? So that's another alternative. I know I'm more of a Intel channel. For some reason this, so you can see these examples. This is older seasons of Fortnite, so the FPS is higher than it is now. But this was paired with an i5-10400, and you can see in our RX 560, I would recommend, if you can get the 4 gig, to get the 4 gig. That's pretty good FPS there, right? Now, is that the same for this season? It's probably in the 80s and 90s, I bet. But over here, RX 550, 4 gig model. This is older, so it's probably, it may be less than 60. Performance mode low, though. All these would be probably up around what you're seeing here at least. So going back to this list, 970s, 980s, they don't make a lot of money on here, but these are good gamers, right? There's your 1050s. They're not making any money. Even a 1063 gig, which could be had for about $200, is another option. The 1650, this is where it starts to, get pricey even used. And then the 980 Ti. So 980 Ti is probably, it may be the best thing on here. Of course, I don't have buy it now. Here we go. So that guy's damaged. 980, which is, close to a 1070, which may be close to a 2060. So this may be one of the best deals out there, honestly. I do not currently have one. I had a 970, and unfortunately, I don't have any gaming footage from it. But it was decent for gaming for sure. So the 980, the 980 Ti, would have been that much better. So they're available on here. What was one of the other ones I was looking at, folks? Now let's talk about what you can buy in the stores right now. GTX 1650. Cheapest I've seen these recently brand new is about 330. Yeah, and you see that? So they're matching it here, 335. Where are my examples for the GTX 1650, folks? Huh? How come we didn't do one there? So once again, paired with a good CPU, you're going to get good results. So let's look at a couple examples here. One, what is it like with a lousy CPU? All right. And in this example, this is the Pentium G6405. Would not recommend unless you're really on a tight budget. But look at the difference from what we've seen for FPS average. And this is 1080p low DX12. This would have been with 32 megs of 3600, excuse me, 3200 megahertz. This motherboard will not support me running at 3600. That's right. So that is that's not bad there. This is definitely playable, right, on your 144 hertz. Now, then you got to look at this potential for bottlenecking. So that is not a winner with that CPU, okay? If we go back and find a good CPU, let's find one where we're going to look at two examples. Most of these I did performance mode low. Let's go to this one. And a commercial, great. We'll come back to that in a second. So even something like this, you can see, you can play. This was on Epic, no shadows. I'll probably jump to another commercial with my luck. Okay. So this, even though the picture quality on the screen is not that great, you can see, the average is up there, right? Let's scoot ahead. So 83 FPS. So this is definitely playable. Is it the best thing in the world? No. All right, so here we go back to the i5 11400 GTX 1650, 1080p low. I'm going to jump ahead. And looks like we finished at least second place in this game. But you can see the average is, pretty good, right? 270. This is an older season, so the FPS would not be this good now. But all right, folks, there you go. There's some alternatives that I would say you have right now. There's other things out there. I mentioned the GTX 1060 3GB. I don't have this one. I have the I have the 6 gig. But yeah, I mean this is the mining version, which sadly I actually do have that one. I've seen these cheaper. Now it looks like the price has gone up. 1060, 250 for that used one. 255 here. This would probably be a decent gamer. It's obviously better than the GTX 1050, 1050 Ti. But, if you can get the 6 gig, which should come in around 300. If that one's not busted up. Actually, they've gone up. So everything's still going up, folks. Mining wise, maybe the reason why this thing actually costs money is people are still able to mine on it. Yeah, $1.74 a day. So as long as Bitcoin is high and everything else is high, these aren't going to be that cheap still. Now, in my opinion, where gaming starts to get good, it's somewhere, we'll say, between the 1650 Super. Let's see how much these are going for. You can pick that up for 300. So I showed you a 1650. And I would say the 1660 Super. So 1660, very similar to 1650. The Super is obviously better. But yeah, there you go, folks. There's alternatives. Like I said, this list kind of tells you if it's making money, it costs a lot of money, right? If it ain't making money, same thing with, if you guys don't know this, most of you probably know more about this stuff than I do, but an RX 470, 570, 580, right? The 4 gig cards, they're really not making that much money. Fast forward to an 8 gig card up here, they're making double that per day. So hence these are a lot more expensive. And there's another good alternative, right? RX 580, you go 4 GB. That's a 460, 250, assuming this thing works, right? So that's that price, right? We have 4 gig on the channel. We don't have the 8 gig. I'm not willing to spend $400 for the 8 gig. This is only going to be beneficial if you're running the higher resolutions. And there's all kinds of other options out there, but 4 gig, another 4 gig that you could look at, the 5500 XT, right? Which is going to give you the same performance as the 580, which is going to cost you more. It's newer. That's about it, folks. Like I said, if it's on this list and it's making money, it's going to cost a lot. So pretty much anything you could say after you get to, well, maybe not even $1. If you're on this, if you're on this line, if it's making over $1 on here, it could still cost a bit of money. This is before electric is factored in. This is after electric. So a lot of these cards, people don't want to waste their time with for mining. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.